1, 2, 3.
What's up, guys? Sid and Dina here. Dina said, back with another question. And I'm feeling a bit sleepy, so...
Why?
Just get straight.
Are you actually... Did you have a sweet? Have a sweet?
I didn't have a sweet.
Quick, go get a sweet.
Should I get a sweet?
Yeah, you need to have some
So they
energy.
can hear me slopping my chops.
Just go have a sweet in the kitchen and come back.
Don't worry, I'm good. Come on.
You need a sweet, babes.
Just get into it.
Hi, Dina and Sid. I need advice. I've been in a stable relationship for 5 years and we're engaged. But our biggest issue is never being able to compromise. It is to the point where I feel like I'm being gaslighted, but he feels the same way too. However, I know neither one of us is doing it intentionally, so therefore it's not actually gaslighting. My truth is not his truth and vice versa. I really feel like we're so different in the way we think that compromising is just not possible. Whenever we do compromise, it's great, but shall a similar situation arise, we argue as though it is the first time we ever came across that issue. Whenever I try to sit and have an elaborate discussion, I'm left confused at how he just can't understand what to me feels like perfect sense. I've had male friends and female friends where we've had debates and discussions and I enjoyed them, but I keep feeling like we're going in circles and I just know how to keep going, especially because, as you guys put it, there's barely a feeling of positive banter. In every other area, our relationship is great. That whole sentence didn't make any sense. He respects women and treats me right. Our families get along, and when we're not arguing, it's great. However, I've gotten to the point where I'm finding it harder and harder to stay happy around him when I know there's no real solution to our arguing. We argue about petty things and constantly promise that the next argument will handle it better, but 7 times out of 10, we do not. I'll research TED Talks and ways to be a better partner, but he does not. I'm drained and I don't know what to do. As you can imagine, I'm also having a hard time even considering letting go of the 5 years we spent together. Brackets, we are in our mid-20s. Any advice? Okay. Okay, they're not married.
Welcome to a relationship.
Do you handle it?
It just sounds like us.
Yeah, it does. Wait, sorry. They're not married yet. They've been engaged 5 years, okay?
Okay.
So there is saving this.
Saving it? There's no major issue except for...
Well, it doesn't seem like
you just have normal relationship problems.
You haven't actually told us like any one big red flag situation other than... Like, you haven't given us context of one big situation where I could be like... Yeah,
there isn't, that's why.
Where I could be like, yeah, that's a big red flag or anything. But gaslighting in general... As you said, unconscious gaslighting. I feel like everyone gaslights to an extent, subconsciously. And it's whether or not it's whether or not when you're informed that you are gaslighting, that you are gaslighting basically, or that you are a gaslighter. It's whether or not you decide to work on it, or it's whether or not you decide to be ignorant to it, or you decide.
Can you explain to everyone what gaslighting is?
Learning what gaslighting means. That's what this title should be.
Oh, you learn something new every day. The term gaslight actually comes from a movie.
Oh yeah?
Yes. So it's popularised by a movie.
What's the movie called? Gaslight?
It's called Gaslight.
Oh, we should watch it.
1944 film Gaslight, in which a husband uses trickery to convince his wife she is mentally unwell so he can steal from her.
That's basically what gaslighting is.
So, yeah.
Manipulating someone to basically to the point where they think they're not well in the head. Or they start doubting their reality. They start doubting themselves. They lose all confidence. They start questioning whether they're the problem or whether what they recall happened, whether they made it up or not. Basically, they start thinking they've gone mad.
If that's the definition, I think people use it very loosely.
No, they do not.
They do.
Maybe.
You just throw it around saying, oh, you're gaslighting me. That's not what that is. That's like some psychological manipulation.
Extreme. Well, gaslighting is manipulation. There's extreme, and then there's subconscious, and then there's not meaning to, and then there's I definitely mean to, but I'm going to act like I'm a thicko don't know.
I'm just saying Dina throws it around willy-nilly.
Well, I throw it around when you gaslight me.
Never do.
Not intentionally, but definitely it happens. And I do it to you. I've definitely done it to you.
Anyways, who cares?
Well, look, guys, this is the reality, okay? It's going to happen. In most relationships, however, we have come across...
Should we get into the question?
Wait, we have come across a few... Wait, because this is going back to your point of saying this is normal relationships. Well, I think it's very common. However, should it be normalised? I don't think it should, because we have come across a few couples who that would be very alien to them, that behaviour, which is, I think, is very healthy. But, no, what? Well, don't stop doing that. That's gaslighting, bro. Stop doing that.
I disagree.
Okay, but what you're doing right now...
It's gaslighting me.
No, but what you're doing right now is making out like what I'm saying has no value. And that's not good.
It has value to you.
Well, it might have value to other people.
Yeah,
so
I didn't say it doesn't.
Well, I'll do the same
I'm just
to
saying
you.
it doesn't have value to me.
Okay, no one asked. So, we shouldn't be normalising that in most relationships people tend to gaslight. We shouldn't normalise it because really it shouldn't be. We shouldn't do it at all. And if we're called out on it and we didn't realise we were gaslighting, I think we should both do this as well. We should acknowledge that, okay, maybe that is a form of gaslighting and I shouldn't go about it that way. I shouldn't do that. Because if it's making that person feel like this, then it just is there.
It's common sense. If you're offended by the gaslighting, or whatever flipping is.
It's not being offended, Sid. It's literally ruining your mental health.
No, I'm saying if you're offended by it, then you're in a relationship. You talk to each other. That's just the given. That's just normal. Oh shit, what you said earlier really offended me. The way you did it, blah, blah, blah. You just talk to each other, innit?
Yeah, but...
So what I'm saying is, if a person is purposely manipulating you, like, then there's a deeper rooted whole thing going on.
Yeah.
And that's not what I think is the situation that the person emailing in.
She said they both do it a little bit.
They both have banter or whatever.
But she said she is trying to make herself better and trying to learn about things.
Wait,
stop cutting me off. Whereas he's really closed off.
Stop cutting me off.
Yeah, whereas...
You've said way more in this video than I've ever had.
But I'm not cutting you off.
Okay, but what...
You asked the question, I'm finishing the answer for you. So she's willing to learn more and be open and like work towards, having open conversations about what they're doing to each other, but he's not. She just feels like he's going around in circles and he's just not willing to understand what gaslighting is, or he's not willing to learn about these behaviours to improve them.
I get it from both point of view. You wanna better yourself because you think you wanna better your relationship because you've matured and you now realise that you don't like the way your partner says certain things to you and it makes you feel a bit weird and blah 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 and all these things, but at the same time it might be difficult for him because you've been talking that way and having banter that way this whole fucking time. So you
she
can't
wants to work on it
turn
because it's been
around
5 years.
You can't turn around and expect it to just be like, oh, click, there's done, like that, because you guys have been like that.
I get you.
It doesn't, you know what I mean? So
is that how you feel with us? They say that.
I feel like when Dina says certain things, and when I see other relationship, when someone in the relationship is like, well, that makes me feel that way. Well, you haven't said it this whole time.
Yeah.
So for you to come out of nowhere and say, oh well, I don't like that, then, and it's such a normal thing in the relationship, then it's just like, what? This whole time we've been like that. So for you to just say this, like, it's okay, that's fine and all, and if you feel like that now, we can work on it. But
yeah, because people grow and change.
You can't expect, people grow and change, so you can work on it, but you can't expect it to just
stop out of nowhere.
Just stop.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress, but at the same time, you can't be married to someone and think they're going to stay the same the whole time.
No, obviously not, but...
Especially when it's things to do with feelings, and especially when you get married young, and people get married younger than we did.
But stuff with banter, for a man, it's a difficult thing to change. I don't know. And I feel like, obviously, like, maybe I'm speaking a bit broadly here, but generally women are more sensitive.
Oh, they probably are more sensitive, yeah.
Like, men, like, can generally be...
take banter.
Yeah, take banter a bit further and stuff like that. Whereas,
yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, so...
Sure. In relationships, 100% men definitely do. No, not just you now. I'm thinking about, like, my brothers and everyone. You've grown and you're understanding and knowing how to handle your feelings, or knowing how to dissect your feelings, and figuring out why you feel that way. Oh, because he said this, and then you've read, and we're reading new things all the time, and we're learning new things every day. And it's like Sid said, and then suddenly, because I'll do this to you all the time, I'll suddenly send you a tweet.
Dina does
not
that.
A tweet, a TikTok of like gaslighting in a relationship, or we should do this, or how to raise kids, things like that I'm learning. And I send it to Sid and I'm like, look, you should be on this page. Like, but he's not, obviously, because he's like, well, you're just sending me some random thing. You know what I mean? And then if we have a convo about it, we can get defensive about things, the way we do things, and it can lead to an argument. Or we can be like, if we're feeling really mature, we'll be like, okay, cool, I'll try my best. Wait,
if
let me
I say go along with it.
Yeah, but wait,
if
wait.
we're feeling really
wait,
mature.
I'm getting into something important here. If we were to, please let me finish. I'm going to lose my thought process. It's really important. If we're willing to grow together and have the honest conversation where no one's defensive and everyone's owning up to shit, then it is something you can work on, especially when you get married young. This is what we talk about when we say grow together. I don't mean financially and working on like building a family and having things and accumulating things. I'm talking about growing as people and learning as well, because in your 20s all the way up into your 40s is like a massive growth period, in my opinion, particularly between 30 and 40. A really important thing that she mentioned is she's finding it harder to be happy around him even when they're not arguing. That's a really big problem, because the longer these little gaslighting situations happen, the more you'll find yourself just disliking this person when they've done nothing wrong. Even in the good times, you'll look at him and be like, I actually don't like you, bro. I'm not even attracted to you. And that's what you have to be careful of, because then what do you have left? If you dislike the person, it means you might have love for them, but if you start disliking someone that you have to live with and grow with, how are you going to do that? And that's what we don't want to happen. And that's what I used to get worried about with me and you.
So honestly,
we'd fix something, but if we weren't on the same page, I'd literally be like, I don't even like you.
Honestly, if I wasn't on Dina's page, this is the way this is my opinion on the situation.
No, but don't you feel like that?
No, I feel like when a person in a relationship, and generally it's women, do that, yeah.
Do what?
It's super toxic.
Do what?
Like, get on my page.
Oh,
right. There's 2 pages, bro.
Oh, right.
Like, there's his and yours. You can't just keep saying, oh, get on my page, get on my page. Like, yes, you have to meet in the middle.
You have to meet in the middle.
It doesn't make sense. And for you to be like, oh...
No, but her guy doesn't want to even meet in the middle. That's her issue. That's her issue. He doesn't want to meet in the middle. Trust
me, any guy wants to meet in the middle if they're not getting flipping pestered all the time. Any guy would be like, okay, yeah, alright, just whatever.
But if it's starting to hurt that person and chipping away at them, then it's not banter for that person anymore. It's banter. It's one-sided banter, and so both sides are not getting the banter.
We have no inkling of how banterous this banter is. You know what I mean? So I don't even know what kind of banter it is. But
do you not want that other person to be happy too around you?
I feel like social media is a good thing, but in a sense, it's built up so much insecurities in people. It's ridiculous. And when you see some person saying, like, a lot of people, like woke people saying, well, especially man haters, saying, oh, well, if your man does this, well, he's this, and if your man does this, well, it's actually deep-rooted, and it's a whole thing that trickles down for centuries and all this shit.
I disagree.
I'm just like, what? Why?
I disagree.
Why are you complicating everything?
I disagree, because I think, actually, it's allowed us, people like us, who, because I feel for you, people like us who I've wondered, well, why do we feel like that? Or like, why am I not happy when things are good? It's allowed us to connect the dots, which is a lot of clarification. But what the other side doesn't like is that because we've connected the dots, and it means you got some work to do, you feel defensive about it.
That's the problem.
Which is your insecurity.
It's complete deflection. It's like there's a cause, and there's the problem, and that's my problem. That guy is my problem, and he's the cause of this. And so you deflect all this bloody energy on this one person, and it's not a meet in the middle sort of thing or talk about it. It's literally, you're the problem, and you should listen to me, and you want to get on my page, and you're this and you're that, and you're like, that's not helping any relationship.
But personally, Sid, because sometimes this happens with us, I want to talk to you about something, but you take things so
because
personally.
I'm so used to the deflecting.
No, because
I'm so used to it.
No, but even when I'm open to, like, you know, and on my side I'm going to do this, you get the initial start of the conversation is, and this is probably a lot of men, they get so defensive about it. They think it's an attack on them, but it's not. It's literally us coming and being like, hey, how can we improve so that I can still like you? Do you know what I mean? Because like you said, women are sensitive with emotion things, and if the emotional side of the relationship isn't there, then none of the other side of the relationship will be there. Am I right?
Look, I don't know
your face just then was like, this is a minefield.
I don't know about everybody's situation. What I'm saying right now, my opinion is obviously about our situation. It's not about everybody else's. I don't know what you're going through, but I just feel like at times it's not really fair. You can't just come out of nowhere and just be like, oh, well, I looked at this online, and you can't apply it everywhere. That's not the way it works.
What's really, really important for both of you to be on the same page is that you are both on the same side. You have to remember that. It's so easy in a partnership to get competitive or have one up on the other. It's really easy to do that.
You have to both be on the same side.
You have to remember, we're in this together. I'm here for you in every way, and you're here for me in every way. Why are we acting like we're out like, oh, I hate him. Oh, well, I did this and he didn't do it. Why are we acting like that? We're supposed to be a team, and you have to keep reminding yourself, even how many years on, you have to remind yourself of that, bro. You got to ask yourself, if things carry on the same way and he's not willing to change, will you be able to put up with that for another 5 years of marriage with kids in the picture maybe, or more hectic stuff in the picture? Will you be able to put up with this behavior forever? Or are you going to get to a point where you're like, I'm actually done? Because if that's the answer, then get out now. I would say.
Who knows? He might be saying he wants to get out.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Who knows?
There you go. But I think...
And it's probably like, she's no fun anymore.
Yeah, but it's so mad because that is proper miscommunication, isn't it? Or it's the other side really not taking into consideration how one side feels, which is actually quite sad, because your feelings, when you're made to feel like your feelings are not as... they shouldn't feel as intense as they do feel, then you start questioning your reality. You do, because you can't help how you feel. And if you have big feelings over something that seems little, you're just like, oh, but you feel like there's no way out then. Because
I feel like sometimes though you need to put your life in perspective. Like, why do you feel this way? If nothing's changed, what has changed? You know what I mean?
What? Oh, right.
In the beginning, why did this banter not make you feel that way? Because
you have grown as a person.
Yeah, but...
And things that you allowed back then, now that you have more information, don't sit right with you anymore. It's really that simple.
Yeah, I agree. No, I don't think it's always that simple. I think, as well, it's the environment. You know, sometimes people seclude themselves and they become more sensitive.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? It could be a range of different things. What has changed in your life for you to be... Maybe it is that you've matured. That's fine, yeah. Maybe it's something else. My point is, if you have a social life and you're busy and you have shit to do, you don't think about the petty things.
I get you. See, now that makes sense.
The petty things.
Right, okay. So, yeah.
You're busy.
True. If you're
you ain't
busy,
got time for the shit.
If your mind is occupied on things that you love doing or whatever it is you've got going on, and you don't... What Sid's saying is, if you've got a lot of free time, you're going to overthink a lot of situations
the mind
that
wanders.
Maybe don't need to be overthought and can be just... There's no biggie situation.
Honestly, your environment molds your way of thinking. When you have a lot of free time, you're just, especially with these bloody things, it's a nightmare.
Conspiracy theories.
You're looking at shit 24/7.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, how can I fill my insecurities? Literally, this fills your insecurities.
You didn't want to show people what's on your screen.
Yeah, because it's emails. This thing actually fills...
Yeah.
Your glass is empty, this fills it for you. And this fills it...
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way, honestly.
When it's too much.
And when you're lonely and your mind is blah, blah, blah. This is not... Honestly.
Yeah,
you're not busy. You're not looking at work on your phone. You're looking at other shit.
That's good. But even when... See... Another good example. When you look at people who are retired, they don't just... Okay, they stop working, they stop earning money. But they don't stop doing things. They still have hobbies. Or they should still have hobbies, because otherwise you will start just gossiping, or you will start overthinking, or you will start analysing other people's lives and criticising and just having an opinion on things that shouldn't be your opinion. That's a good example.
Do you know? Yes.
Like,
do you know?
people who retire should still have hobbies. When you look at healthy older people, mentally healthy I'm talking about, usually they have something that they love doing that they are continuing to do.
And the ones that don't, they're sitting on a bench in a park somewhere bitching about a family.
And yeah, and they're usually the family member that's very toxic and making issues for others.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is a thing.
It is a thing.
If you're in the situation where you're not busy, and you have all the time in the world,
busy with your own things as well,
then most likely you're thinking about what's wrong with why am I unhappy? What's wrong with my relationship? Oh, it's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of that. Get up off your ass and do something, bro. You'll be happier.
Which goes back to so many of our videos that we've mentioned before. Before you find a partner, find out who you are first, and literally this is how you learn to love yourself and love your life and create what you want for yourself and not rely on other people. Because when you know who you are through doing what you love and having your own experiences and all that stuff that we just mentioned, is when you are more likely to attract the right type of person for you and for your life.